Narrated by Aisha, the commencement of the divine inspiration to Allah's Messenger peace be upon him was in the form of good righteous, true, dreams in his sleep. He never had a dream but that it came true like bright daylight. He used to go in seclusion, the cave of Hira where he used to worship Allah alone, continuously for many days and nights. He used to take with him the journey food for that, stay, and then come back to his wife, Khadija to take his food likewise again for another period to stay, till suddenly the truth descended upon him while he was in the cave of Hira. The angel came to him in it and asked him to read. The Prophet peace be upon him replied, I do not know how to read. The Prophet peace be upon him added, the angel caught me forcefully, and pressed me so hard that I could not bear it any more. He then released me and again asked me to read, and I replied, I do not know how to read, whereupon he caught me again, and pressed me a second time till I could not bear it any more. He then released me and asked me again to read, but again I replied, I do not know how to read, or, what shall I read? Thereupon he caught me for the third time and pressed me and then released me and said, Read, O Prophet, in the name of your Lord, who created humans from a clinging clot. Read. And your Lord is the most generous, who taught by the pen, taught humanity what they knew not. Surah 96 verse 1-5, Then Allah's Messenger peace be upon him returned with the inspiration, his neck muscles twitching with terror till he entered upon Khadija and said, Cover me. Cover me. They covered him till his fear was over and then he said, O Khadija, what is wrong with me? Then he told her everything that had happened and said, I fear that something may happen to me. Khadija said, Never. But have the glad tidings, for by Allah, Allah will never disgrace you as you keep good reactions with your kith and kin, speak the truth, help the poor and the destitute, serve your guests generously and assist the deserving, calamity-afflicted ones. Khadija then accompanied him to her cousin, Waraka bin Nawfal bin Asad bin Abdul-Uwa bin Qusay. Waraka was the son of her paternal uncle, means, her father's brother, who during the pre-Islamic period became a Christian, and used to write the Arabic writing, and used to write of the Gospels in Arabic as much as Allah wished him to write. He was an old man and had lost his eyesight. Khadija said to him, O my cousin, listen to the story of your nephew. Waraka asked, O my nephew, what have you seen? The Prophet peace be upon him described whatever he had seen. Waraka said, This is the same Namas, means, Gabriel, the angel who keeps the secrets, whom Allah had sent to Moses. I wish I were young and could live up to the time when your people would turn you out. Allah's Messenger peace be upon him asked, Will they turn me out? Waraka replied in the affirmative and said, Never did a man come with something similar to what you have brought, but was treated with hostility. If I should remain alive till the day when you will be turned out, then I would support you strongly. But after a few days Waraka died, and the divine inspiration was also paused for a while, and the Prophet peace be upon him became so sad as we have heard that, he intended several times to throw himself from the tops of high mountains, and every time he went up the top of a mountain in order to throw himself down, Gabriel would appear before him and say, O Muhammad, you are indeed Allah's messenger peace be upon him in truth, whereupon his heart would become quiet, and he would calm down, and would return home. And whenever the period of the coming of the inspiration used to become long, he would do as before, but when he used to reach the top of a mountain, Gabriel would appear before him and say to him what he had said before. Ibn Abbas said regarding the meaning of, He it is that cleaves the daybreak, from the darkness, Surah 6 verse 96, that al-asba means the light of the sun during the day and the light of the moon at night. Narrated by Anas bin Malik. Allah's Messenger peace be upon him said, a good dream, that comes true, of a righteous man is one of 46 parts of prophetism. Narrated by Abu Qatada. The Prophet peace be upon him said, a true good dream is from Allah, and a bad dream is from Satan. Narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. The Prophet peace be upon him said, if any one of you sees a dream that he likes, then it is from Allah, and he should thank Allah for it and narrate it to others, but if he sees something else, means a dream that he dislikes, then it is from Satan, and he should seek refuge with Allah from its evil, and he should not mention it to anybody, for it will not harm him. Narrated by Abu Qatada. The Prophet peace be upon him said, a good dream that comes true is from Allah, and a bad dream is from Satan, so if any one of you sees a bad dream, he should seek refuge with Allah from Satan and should spit on the left, for the bad dream will not harm him. Narrated by Ubaydah bin as-Samit. The Prophet peace be upon him said, the good dreams of a faithful believer is a part of the 46 parts of prophetism. Narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger peace be upon him said, the good dream of a faithful believer is a part of the 46 parts of prophetism. Narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. I heard Allah's Messenger peace be upon him saying, a good dream is a part of the 46 parts of prophetism. Narrated by Abu Huraira. I heard Allah's Messenger peace be upon him saying, nothing is left of the prophetism except al-Mubashirat. They asked, what are al-Mubashirat? He replied, the true good dreams, that conveys glad tidings. Narrated by Ibn Umar. Some people were shown the night of Qadr as being in the last 7 days of the month of Ramadan. The Prophet peace be upon him said, seek it in the last 7 days of Ramadan. Narrated by Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger peace be upon him said, if I stayed in prison as long as Joseph stayed and then the messenger came, I would respond to his call to go out of the prison. Narrated by Abu Huraira. I heard the Prophet peace be upon him saying, whoever sees me in a dream will see me in his wakefulness, and Satan cannot imitate me in shape. Abu Abdullah said, Ibn Sirin said, only if he sees the Prophet peace be upon him in his real shape. Narrated by Anas. The Prophet peace be upon him said, whoever has seen me in a dream, then no doubt, he has seen me, for Satan cannot imitate my shape. Narrated by Abu Qatada. The Prophet peace be upon him said, a good dream is from Allah, and a bad dream is from Satan. So whoever has seen in a dream something he dislikes, then he should spit without saliva, thrice on his left and seek refuge with Allah from Satan, for it will not harm him, and Satan cannot appear in my shape. Narrated by Abu Qatada. The Prophet peace be upon him said, whoever sees me in a dream then he indeed has seen the truth. Narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. The Prophet peace be upon him said, whoever sees me in a dream then he indeed has seen the truth, as Satan cannot appear in my shape. Narrated by Abu Huraira. The Prophet peace be upon him said, I have been given the keys of eloquent speech and given victory with awe, cast into the hearts of the enemy, and while I was sleeping last night, the keys of the treasures of the earth were brought to me till they were put in my hand. Abu Huraira added, Allah's Messenger peace be upon him left this world and now you people are carrying those treasures from place to place. Narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. Allah's Messenger peace be upon him said, I saw myself, in a dream, near the Kaaba last night, and I saw a man with whitish red complexion, the best you may see amongst men of that complexion having long hair reaching his earlobes which was the best hair of its sort, and he had combed his hair and water was dropping from it, and he was performing the tawaf around the Kaaba while he was leaning on two men or on the shoulders of two men. I asked, "Who is this man?" Somebody replied, "He is Messiah, son of Mary." Then I saw another man with very curly hair, blind in the right eye which looked like a protruding out grape. I asked, "Who is this?" Somebody replied, "He is Messiah, ad-Dajjal." Narrated by Ibn Abbas. About a man, who came to Allah's Messenger peace be upon him and said, "I was shown in a dream last night." Then Ibn Abbas mentioned the narration. Narrated by Anas bin Malik. Allah's Messenger peace be upon him used to visit Haram bint Milhan. She was the wife of Ubaydah bin As-Samit. One day the Prophet peace be upon him visited her and she provided him with food and started looking for lice in his head. Then Allah's Messenger peace be upon him slept and afterwards woke up smiling. Haram asked, "What makes you smile, O Allah's Messenger peace be upon him?" He said, "Some of my followers were presented before me in my dream as fighters in Allah's cause, sailing in the middle of the seas like kings on the thrones or like kings sitting on their thrones." The narrator Ishaq is not sure as to which expression was correct. Haram added, "I said, O Allah's Messenger peace be upon him, invoke Allah, to make me one of them." So Allah's Messenger peace be upon him invoked Allah for her and then laid his head down, and slept. Then he woke up smiling, again. Haram added, "I said, what makes you smile, O Allah's Messenger peace be upon him?" He said, "Some people of my followers were presented before me, in a dream, as fighters in Allah's cause." He said the same as he had said before. I said, "O Allah's Messenger peace be upon him, invoke Allah to make me from them." He said, "You are among the first ones." Then Haram sailed over the sea during the caliphate of Muawiyah bin Abu Sufyan, and she fell down from her riding animal after coming ashore, and died. Narrated by Kharija bin Zayd bin Sabith. Al-Allah, an Ansari woman who had given a pledge of allegiance to Allah's Messenger peace be upon him told me, "The Muhajirun, emigrants, were distributed amongst us by drawing lots, and we got Uthman bin Mazun in our share. We made him stay with us in our house. Then he suffered from a disease which proved fatal. When he died and was given a bath and was shrouded in his clothes, Allah's Messenger peace be upon him came. I said, addressing the dead body, O Abu Asib, may Allah be merciful to you. I testify that Allah has honored you." Allah's Messenger peace be upon him said, "How do you know that Allah has honored him?" I replied, "Let my father be sacrificed for you, O Allah's Messenger peace be upon him. On whom else shall Allah bestow his honor?" Allah's Messenger peace be upon him said, "As for him, by Allah, death has come to him. By Allah, I wish him all good from Allah. By Allah, in spite of the fact that I am Allah's Messenger peace be upon him, I do not know what Allah will do to me." Allah added, "By Allah, I will never attest the righteousness of anybody after that." Narrated by Az-Zuhri. Regarding the above narration, the Prophet peace be upon him said, "I do not know what Allah will do to him, Uthman bin Maz'un." Allah said, "I felt very sorry for that, and then I slept and saw in a dream a flowing spring for Uthman bin Maz'un, and told Allah's Messenger peace be upon him of that, and he said, that flowing spring symbolizes his good deeds." Narrated by Abu Qatada al-Ansari. A companion of the Prophet peace be upon him and one of his cavalry men, I heard Allah's Messenger peace be upon him saying, "A good dream is from Allah, and a bad dream is from Satan, so, if any one of you had a bad dream which he disliked, then he should spit on his left and seek refuge with Allah from it, for it will not harm him." Narrated by Ibn Umar. I heard Allah's Messenger peace be upon him saying, while I was sleeping, I was given a bowl full of milk in a dream, and I drank of it to my fill until I noticed its wetness coming out of my nails, and then I gave the rest of it to Umar. The people asked, "What have you interpreted about the dream, O Allah's Apostle?" He said, "It is religious knowledge." Narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. Allah's Messenger peace be upon him said, while I was sleeping, I was given a bowl full of milk in the dream and I drank from it to my fill, till I noticed its wetness coming out of my limbs. Then I gave the rest of it to Umar bin al-Khattab. The persons sitting around him asked, "What have you interpreted about the dream, O Allah's Messenger peace be upon him?" He said, "It is religious knowledge." Narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. Allah's Messenger peace be upon him said, while I was sleeping, some people were displayed before me in a dream. They were wearing shirts, some of which were merely covering their breasts, and some a bit longer. Then there passed before me, Umar bin al-Khattab wearing a shirt, he was dragging it, on the ground behind him. The people asked, "What have you interpreted about the dream, O Allah's Apostle?" He said, "The religion." Narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. I heard Allah's Messenger peace be upon him saying, while I was sleeping, I saw in a dream the people being displayed before me, wearing shirts, some of which were so short that it reached as far as their breasts and some reached below that. Then Umar bin al-Khattab was shown to me and he was wearing a shirt which he was dragging behind him. They asked, "What have you interpreted about the dream, O Allah's Messenger peace be upon him?" He said, "The religion." Narrated by Qais bin Ubaydah. I was sitting in a gathering in which there was Sa'd bin Malik and Ibn Umar. Abdullah bin Salam passed in front of them and they said, "This man is from the people of paradise." I said to Abdullah bin Salam, "They said so and so." He replied, "Subhanallah. They ought not to have said things of which they have no knowledge, but I saw, in a dream, that a post was fixed in a green garden. At the top of the post there was a handhold and below it there was a servant. I was asked to climb the post. So I climbed it till I got hold of the handhold. Then I narrated this dream to Allah's Messenger peace be upon him. Allah's Apostle said, Abdullah will die while still holding the firm reliable handhold, means Islam. Narrated by Aisha. Allah's Messenger peace be upon him said to me, "You were shown to me twice in my dream. Behold, a man was carrying you in a silken piece of cloth and said to me, She is your wife, so uncover her, and behold, it was you. I would then say to myself, if this is from Allah, then it must happen." Narrated by Aisha. Allah's Messenger peace be upon him said to me, "You were shown to me twice in my dream, before I married you. I saw an angel carrying you in a silken piece of cloth, and I said to him, Uncover her, and behold, it was you. I said to myself, if this is from Allah, then it must happen. Then you were shown to me, the angel carrying you in a silken piece of cloth, and I said to him, Uncover her, and behold, it was you. I said to myself, if this is from Allah, then it must happen." Narrated by Abu Huraira. I heard Allah's Messenger peace be upon him saying, I have been sent with Jawami al-Kalim, means the shortest expression carrying the widest meanings, and I was made victorious with awe, cast into the hearts of the enemy, and while I was sleeping, the keys of the treasures of the earth were brought to me and were put in my hand. Muhammad said, Jawami al-Kalim means that Allah expresses in one or two statements or thereabouts the numerous matters that used to be written in the books revealed before the coming of the Prophet peace be upon him. Narrated by Abdullah bin Salam. In a dream, I saw myself in a garden, and there was a pillar in the middle of the garden, and there was a handhold at the top of the pillar. I was asked to climb it. I said, I cannot. Then a servant came and lifted up my clothes, and I climbed the pillar, and then got hold of the handhold, and I woke up while still holding it. I narrated that to the Prophet, peace be upon him, who said, the garden symbolizes the garden of Islam, and the handhold is the firm Islamic handhold which indicates that you will be adhering firmly to Islam until you die. Narrated by Ibn Umar. I saw in a dream a piece of silken cloth in my hand, and in whatever direction in paradise I waved it, it flew, carrying me there. I narrated this dream to my sister Hafsa, and she told it to the Prophet, peace be upon him, who said, to Hafsa, indeed, your brother is a righteous man, or, indeed, Abdullah is a righteous man. Narrated by Abu Huraira, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, when the day of resurrection approaches, the dreams of a believer will hardly fail to come true, and a dream of a believer is one of 46 parts of prophetism, and whatever belongs to prophetism can never be false. Muhammad bin Sirin said, but I say this. He said, it used to be said, there are 3 types of dreams: the reflection of one's thoughts and experiences one has during wakefulness, what is suggested by Satan to frighten the dreamer, or glad tidings from Allah. So, if someone has a dream which he dislikes, he should not tell it to others, but get up and offer a prayer. He added, he, Abu Huraira, hated to see a ghoul, means, iron collar around his neck in a dream, and people like to see fetters on their feet in a dream. The fetters on the feet symbolizes one's constant and firm adherence to religion. And Abu Abdullah said, ghouls, iron collars, are used only for necks. Narrated by Kharija bin Zayd bin Sabith. Al-Allah, an Ansari woman who had given the pledge of allegiance to Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, Uthman bin Mazun came in our share when the Ansars drew lots to distribute the emigrants to dwell among themselves. He became sick, and we looked after, nursed him till he died. Then we shrouded him in his clothes. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, came to us. I, addressing the dead body, said, may Allah's mercy be on you, O Abu Asib. I testify that Allah has honored you. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, how do you know that? I replied, I do not know, by Allah. He said, as for him, death has come to him, and I wish him all good from Allah. By Allah, though I am Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, I neither know what will happen to me, nor to you. Allah said, by Allah, I will never attest the righteousness of anybody after that. She added, later I saw in a dream, a flowing spring for Uthman. So I went to Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, and mentioned that to him. He said, that is the symbol of his good deeds, the reward for which is going on for him. Narrated by Ibn Umar. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, I saw in a dream that, while I was standing at a well and drawing water therefrom, suddenly Abu Bakr and Umar came to me. Abu Bakr took the bucket and drew 1 or 2 buckets, full of water, but there was weakness in his pulling, but Allah forgave him. Then Ibn al-Khattab took the bucket from Abu Bakr's hand, and the bucket turned into a very large one in his hand. I have never seen any strong man among the people doing such a hard job as Umar did, till, the people drank to their satisfaction, and water their camels to their fill, and they sat near the water. Narrated by Salim's father. About the Prophet's dream in which he has seen Abu Bakr and Umar, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, I saw in a dream that the people had gathered. Then Abu Bakr stood up and pulled out 1 or 2 buckets full of water from a well, and there was weakness in his pulling, may Allah forgive him. Then Ibn al-Khattab stood up, and the bucket turned into a very large one, and I have never seen any strong man among the people doing such a hard job. He pulled out so much water that the people drank to their satisfaction, and watered their camels to their fill, and then after quenching their thirst, they sat beside the water. Narrated by Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, "While I was sleeping, I saw myself standing at a well over which there was a bucket. I pulled out from it as many buckets of water as Allah wished, and then Ibn Abu Quhafa, Abu Bakr, took the bucket from me and pulled out 1 or 2 full buckets, and there was weakness in his pull, may Allah forgive him. Then the bucket turned into a very large one, and Umar bin al-Khattab took it. I have never seen any strong man among the people, drawing water with such strength as Umar did, till the people drank to their satisfaction and watered their camels to their fill, whereupon the camels sat beside the water." Narrated by Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, "While I was sleeping, I saw myself standing over a tank well giving water to the people to drink. Then Abu Bakr came to me and took the bucket from me in order to relieve me, and he pulled out 1 or 2 full buckets, and there was weakness in his pulling, may Allah forgive him. Then Ibn al-Khattab took it from him and went on drawing water till the people left, after being satisfied, while the tank was overflowing with water." Narrated by Abu Huraira. We were sitting with Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him. He said, "While I was sleeping, I saw myself in paradise. Suddenly I saw a woman performing ablution beside a palace. I asked, 'For whom is this palace?' They, the angels, replied, 'It is for Umar bin al-Khattab.' Then I remembered Umar's ghayra and went back hurriedly. On hearing that, Umar started weeping and said, 'Let my father and mother be sacrificed for you. O Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him. How dare I think of my ghayra being offended by you?" Narrated by Jabir bin Abdullah. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, "I saw in a dream that I entered paradise, and behold, there was a palace built of gold. I asked, 'For whom is this palace?' They, the angels, replied, 'For a man from the Quraysh.' The Prophet added, 'O Ibn al-Khattab, nothing stopped me from entering it except your ghayra.' Umar said, 'How dare I think of my ghayra being offended by you, O Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him?" Narrated by Abu Huraira. We were sitting with Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him. He said, "While I was sleeping, I saw myself in paradise, and behold, a woman was performing ablution by the side of a palace. I asked, 'For whom is this palace?' They replied, 'For Umar.' Then I remembered the ghayra of Umar and returned immediately. Umar wept, on hearing that, and said, 'Let my father and mother be sacrificed for you, O Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him. How dare I think of my ghayra being offended by you?" Narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, "While I was sleeping, I saw myself performing the tawaf of the Kaaba. Behold, there I saw a whitish-red lank-haired man, holding himself between 2 men with water dropping from his hair. I asked, 'Who is this?' The people replied, 'He is the son of Mary.' Then I turned my face to see another man with red complexion, big body, curly hair, and blind in the right eye, which looked like a protruding out grape. I asked, 'Who is he?' They replied, 'He is Ad-Dajjal. Ibn Qatan resembles him more than anybody else among the people, and Ibn Qatan was a man from Bani al-Mustalik from Huzat.'" Narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. I heard Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, saying, "While I was sleeping, I saw a bowl full of milk was brought to me, and I drank of it to my fill till I noticed its wetness flowing in my body. Then I gave the remaining of it to Umar. They asked, "O Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, what have you interpreted about the dream?" He said, "It is religious knowledge." Narrated by Ibn Umar. Men from the companions of Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, used to see dreams during the lifetime of Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, and they used to narrate those dreams to Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, would interpret them as Allah wished. I was a young man and used to stay in the mosque before my wedlock. I said to myself, if there were any good in myself, I too would see what these people see. So when I went to bed one night, I said, "O Allah, if you see any good in me, show me a good dream." So while I was in that state, there came to me in a dream two angels. In the hand of each of them, there was a mace of iron, and both of them were taking me to hell, and I was between them, invoking Allah, "O Allah, I seek refuge with you from hell." Then I saw myself being confronted by another angel holding a mace of iron in his hand. He said to me, "Do not be afraid, you will be an excellent man if you only pray more often." So they took me till they stopped me at the edge of hell, and behold, it was built inside like a well, and it had side posts like those of a well, and beside each post there was an angel carrying an iron mace. I saw therein many people hanging upside down with iron chains, and I recognized therein some men from the Quraysh. Then, the angels took me to the right side. I narrated this dream to my sister Hafsa, and she told it to Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, "No doubt, Abdullah is a good man." Nafi said, "Since then Abdullah bin Umar used to pray much." Narrated by Ibn Umar. I was a young unmarried man during the lifetime of the Prophet. I used to sleep in the mosque. Anyone who had a dream would narrate it to the Prophet. I said, "O Allah, if there is any good for me with you, then show me a dream so that Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, may interpret it for me." So I slept and saw, in a dream, two angels came to me and took me along with them, and they met another angel who said to me, "Don't be afraid, you are a good man." They took me towards the fire, and behold, it was built inside like a well, and therein I saw people, some of whom I recognized, and then the angels took me to the right side. In the morning, I mentioned that dream to Hafsa. Hafsa told me that she had mentioned it to the Prophet, peace be upon him, and he said, "Abdullah is a righteous man if he only prays more at night." Az-Zuhri said, after that, Abdullah used to pray more at night. Narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. I heard Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, saying, while I was sleeping, I saw that a cup full of milk was brought to me, and I drank of it and gave the remaining of it to Umar bin al-Khattab. They asked, "What have you interpreted about the dream, O Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him?" The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "It is religious knowledge." Narrated by Ubaydullah bin Abdullah. I asked Ibn Abbas about the dream of Allah's Messenger which he mentioned. Narrated by Abdullah bin Abbas. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, while I was sleeping, two golden bangles were put in my two hands, so I got scared, frightened, and disliked it, but I was given permission to blow them off, and they flew away. I interpret it as a symbol of two liars who will appear. Ubaydullah said, one of them was Al-Ansi, who was killed by Faraz at Yemen, and the other was Musaylama at Najd. Narrated by Abu Musa. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, I saw in a dream that I was migrating from Mecca to a land where there were date palm trees. I thought that it might be the land of Al-Yamama or Hajar, but behold, it turned out to be Yathrib, means Medina. And I saw cows being slaughtered there, but the reward given by Allah is better than worldly benefits. Behold, Those cows proved to symbolize the believers who were killed on the day of the Battle of Uhud, and the good which I saw in the dream was the good, and the reward and the truth which Allah bestowed upon us after the Badr battle. Or the Battle of Uhud, and that was the victory bestowed by Allah in the Battle of Khaybar, and the conquest of Mecca. Narrated by Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger peace be upon him said, "We Muslims are the last to come, but will be the foremost on the day of resurrection." Allah's Messenger peace be upon him further said, "While sleeping, I was given the treasures of the world and 2 golden bangles were put in my hands, but I felt much annoyed, and those 2 bangles distressed me very much, but I was inspired that I should blow them off, so I blew them and they flew away. Then I interpreted that those 2 bangles were the liars between whom I was. Means the one of Sana and the one of Yamama." Narrated by Abdullah. The Prophet peace be upon him said, "I saw in a dream a black woman with unkempt hair going out of Medina and settling at Mahaya, means Al-Hufa. I interpreted that as a symbol of epidemic of Medina being transferred to that place, Al-Hufa." Narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. Concerning the dream of the Prophet peace be upon him in Medina, the Prophet peace be upon him said, "I saw in a dream a black woman with unkempt hair going out of Medina and settling at Mahaya. I interpreted that as a symbol of the epidemic of Medina being transferred to Mahaya, namely, Al-Hufa." Narrated by Salim's father. The Prophet peace be upon him said, "I saw in a dream a black woman with unkempt hair going out of Medina and settling in Mahaya. I interpreted that as a symbol of epidemic of Medina being transferred to Mahaya, namely, Al-Hufa." Narrated by Abu Musa. The Prophet peace be upon him said, "I saw in a dream that I waved a sword and it broke in the middle, and behold, that symbolized the casualties the believers suffered on the day of the Battle of Uhud. Then I waved the sword again, and it became better than it had ever been before, and behold, that symbolized the conquest of Mecca which Allah brought about and the gathering of the believers." Narrated by Ibn Abbas. The Prophet peace be upon him said, "Whoever claims to have seen a dream which he did not see, will be ordered to make a knot between 2 barley grains which he will not be able to do, and if somebody listens to the talk of some people who do not like him to listen, or they run away from him, then molten lead will be poured into his ears on the day of resurrection, and whoever makes a picture, will be punished on the day of resurrection and will be ordered to put a soul in that picture, which he will not be able to do." Ibn Abbas also narrated a similar hadith. Narrated by Ibn Umar. Allah's Messenger peace be upon him said, "The worst lie is that a person claims to have seen a dream which he has not seen." Narrated by Abu Salama. I used to see a dream which would make me sick till I heard Abu Qatada saying, I too, used to see a dream which would make me sick till I heard the Prophet peace be upon him saying, "A good dream is from Allah, so if any one of you saw a dream which he liked, he should not tell it to anybody except to the one whom he loves, and if he saw a dream which he disliked, then he should seek refuge with Allah from its evil and from the evil of Satan, and spit 3 times on his left, and should not tell it to anybody, for it will not harm him." Narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. I heard Allah's Messenger peace be upon him saying, "If any one of you saw a dream which he liked, then that was from Allah, and he should thank Allah for it and tell it to others, but if he saw something else, means a dream which he did not like, then that is from Satan and he should seek refuge with Allah from it and should not tell it to anybody for it will not harm him." Narrated by Ibn Abbas. A man came to Allah's Messenger peace be upon him and said, "I saw in a dream, a cloud having shade. Butter and honey were dropping from it and I saw the people gathering it in their hands, some gathering much and some a little. And behold, there was a rope extending from the earth to the sky, and I saw that you, the prophet, held it and went up, and then another man held it and went up, and, after that, another, third, held it and went up, and then after another, fourth, man held it, but it broke and then got connected again. Abu Bakr said, O Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, let my father be sacrificed for you. Allow me to interpret this dream. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said to him, interpret it. Abu Bakr said, the cloud with shade symbolizes Islam, and the butter and honey dropping from it symbolizes the Quran, its sweetness dropping, and some people learning much of the Quran and some a little. The rope which is extended from the sky to the earth is the truth which you, the Prophet, are following. You follow it and Allah will raise you high with it, and then another man will follow it and will rise up with it, and another person will follow it, and then another man will follow it, but it will break and then it will be connected for him and he will rise up with it. O Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, let my father be sacrificed for you. Am I right or wrong? The Prophet replied, you are right in some of it and wrong in some. Abu Bakr said, O Allah's Prophet, by Allah, you must tell me in what I was wrong. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, do not swear. Narrated by Samura bin Jundub, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, very often used to ask his companions, did any one of you see a dream? So dreams would be narrated to him by those whom Allah wished to tell. One morning the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, last night 2 persons came to me in a dream, and woke me up and said to me, proceed. I set out with them and we came across a man lying down, and behold, another man was standing over his head, holding a big rock. Behold, he was throwing the rock at the man's head, injuring it. The rock rolled away and the thrower followed it and took it back. By the time he reached the man, his head returned to the normal state. The thrower then did the same as he had done before. I said to my 2 companions, Subhanallah, who are these 2 persons? They said, proceed. So we proceeded, and came to a man lying flat on his back and another man standing over his head with an iron hook, and behold, he would put the hook in one side of the man's mouth, and tear off that side of his face to the back of the neck, and similarly tear his nose from front to back, and his eye from front to back. Then he turned to the other side of the man's face, and did just as he had done with the other side. He hardly completed the side when the other side returned to its normal state. Then he returned to it to repeat what he had done before. I said to my 2 companions, Subhanallah, who are these 2 persons? They said to me, proceed. So we proceeded and came across something like a tanur, a kind of baking oven, a pit usually clay-lined for baking bread. I think the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, in that oven there was much noise and voices. The Prophet, peace be upon him, added, we looked into it and found naked men and women, and behold, a flame of fire was reaching to them from underneath, and when it reached them, they cried loudly. I asked them, who are these? They said to me, proceed. And so we proceeded and came across a river. I think he said, red like blood. The Prophet, peace be upon him, added, and behold, in the river there was a man swimming, and on the bank there was a man who had collected many stones. Behold, while the other man was swimming, he went near him. The former opened his mouth, and the latter on the bank, threw a stone into his mouth, whereupon he went swimming again. He returned, and every time the performance was repeated. I asked my 2 companions, who are these 2 persons? They replied, proceed. Proceed. And we proceeded till we came to a man with a repulsive appearance, the most repulsive appearance you ever saw a man having. Beside him there was a fire, and he was kindling it and running around it. I asked my companions, "Who is this man?" They said to me, "Proceed. Proceed." So we proceeded till we reached a garden of deep green dense vegetation, having all sorts of spring colors. In the midst of the garden there was a very tall man, and I could hardly see his head because of his great height, and around him there were children in such a large number as I have never seen. I said to my companions, "Who is this?" They replied, "Proceed. Proceed." So we proceeded till we came to a majestic huge garden, greater and better than I have ever seen. My two companions said to me, "Go up," and I went up. The Prophet peace be upon him added, so we ascended till we reached a city built of gold and silver bricks, and we went to its gate and asked the gatekeeper to open the gate, and it was opened, and we entered the city and found in it, men with one side of their bodies as handsome as the handsomest person you have ever seen, and the other side as ugly as the ugliest person you have ever seen. My two companions ordered those men to throw themselves into the river. Behold, there was a river flowing across the city, and its water was like milk in whiteness. Those men went and threw themselves in it, and then returned to us after the ugliness of their bodies had disappeared, and they became in the best shape. The Prophet peace be upon him further added, my two companions, angels, said to me, "This place is the Eden paradise, and that is your place." I raised up my sight, and behold, there I saw a palace like a white cloud. My two companions said to me, "That palace is your place." I said to them, "May Allah bless you both. Let me enter it." They replied, "As for now, you will not enter it, but you shall enter it, one day." I said to them, "I have seen many wonders tonight. What does all that mean which I have seen?" They replied, "We will inform you. As for the first man you came upon whose head was being injured with the rock, he is the symbol of the one who studies the Quran, and then neither recites it nor acts on its orders, and sleeps, neglecting the enjoined prayers. As for the man you came upon whose sides of mouth, nostrils, and eyes were torn off from front to back, he is the symbol of the man who goes out of his house in the morning, and tells so many lies that it spreads all over the world. And those naked men and women whom you saw in a construction resembling an oven, they are the adulterers and the adulteresses. And the man whom you saw swimming in the river and given a stone to swallow, is the eater of usury, riba. And the bad-looking man whom you saw near the fire kindling it, and going round it, is Malik, the gatekeeper of hell. And the tall man whom you saw in the garden is Abraham, and the children around him are those children who die with Al-Fitra, the Islamic faith." The narrator added, "Some Muslims asked the Prophet, 'O Allah's Messenger peace be upon him, what about the children of pagans?' The Prophet peace be upon him replied, 'And also the children of pagans.' The Prophet peace be upon him added, my two companions added, the men you saw half handsome and half ugly were those persons who had mixed an act that was good with another that was bad, but Allah forgave them.